Next on Worcester News tonight, a man is arrested after he returns to the scene of the crime because he forgot his phone. Plus, it's National Pretzel Day, how a local business is celebrating the day and their anniversary. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. Those stories in just a moment, but we begin tonight in the city where a wage rally was held outside of City Hall. The rally coming before a City Council Economic Development Committee meeting on the city's TIF policies. The group says businesses who benefit from TIFs should be looking to hire locally and also offer a minimum wage of $15 an hour.
Why give something and not get something in return? It's supposed to help everybody. This improves the community, it improves the people. You're investing in the people like you're investing in the community. That makes the community better all around.
The subcommittee unanimously recommended a policy which calls for a wage goal of $15 per hour or a 125% increase on the state minimum wage, beginning for TIF deals approved in 2018. Well, a man is facing charges after returning to a Worcester jewelry store that he stole from to get a cell phone. Yesterday, just before 1 o'clock, the owner of City Jewelry on Main Street reported a robbery and said that one of two suspects returned to the store after fleeing to get a call from the phone that he left behind. The suspect, identified as LaShawn Parrish, was seen walking in the area a short time later. When officers approached him, he ran off. Following a short chase, he was taken into custody. Investigators are still looking for the second suspect. A violent confrontation caught on camera early Saturday morning. A large fight broke out at a Dennys restaurant in Leominster. One man even picked up a chair and smashed it on another. Our Catherine Sotnick has more.
A dining disaster. Chairs used as weapons inside the Leominster Dennys during an early morning Saturday all-out brawl.
Oh my God, that must have hurt.
Watch again. You can see an angry man pick up a chair and then smash it onto another man who's already entangled on his back in other chairs. And when police arrive to help the manager clear out the restaurant, there is more chaos. Police say this man, who they're wrestling to the ground, was behind the counter with friends. When they asked him to leave because the restaurant was shutting down, police say he became combative, spit at the officers, and eventually had to be taken down with force.
He spit on their boots, two officers, and they went to place him in a custody. And as you can see on the video, he resisted, and the officers had to struggle to take him down to the ground.
Police say a second man was arrested for trying to free the first guy from the police cruiser.
He fought. They fell to the ground with him, and after a few minutes, they were both able to get him in custody by placing his arms behind his back and handcuffing him.
Now 22-year-old Luis Rojas and 24-year-old Brandon Sanchez of Fitchburg have been charged, not with the initial fight, but with assault and battery on a police officer and resisting arrest from the aftermath. It's still unclear what the initial fight was over, but in the video, one man can be heard saying another man came in his booth.
Today is National Pretzel Day. It's also the 3-year anniversary of a pretzel place here in Central Mass. Our Olivia Lemon stopped by the Grafton-based company today and has more.
Their love of soft pretzels and lack of places to find one is what inspired brothers Josh and Sean Briggs to open their own pretzel bakery.
When we were kids, our father used to bring us to the mall and we'd get these old Bavarian pretzels, and we've always sort of dreamed about them since.
The brothers say it started off as a side job, but quickly became a full-time business. Wicked Twisted Pretzels in Grafton opened 3 years ago today on National Pretzel Day.
Totally by coincidence. We filled out the form 3 months earlier and we got the call and the approval on National Pretzel Day, so we became pretzel makers on National Pretzel Day.
Now the brothers' business is the busiest it's ever been. They say within the last few months, they've done as much business as they did all of last year.
There's a real need for this particular product, so we can grow this for a long time before we need to pursue other avenues for sales.
Wicked Twisted Pretzels are sold in restaurants across Worcester and Whole Foods Market in Massachusetts and California. The Briggs also just launched a Wicked Twisted Mustard to go with the pretzels.
We expect that to be a whole other side of our business that we really weren't anticipating. It's just such a natural fit with what we were doing.
For now, the brothers are busy trying to keep up with the high demand of pretzels across the country. Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
A big anniversary in the city tonight. Abby's House celebrates 40 years in the community and a 40-year partnership with the College of the Holy Cross. Tonight's event was held at the Hogan Center on the campus of Holy Cross. The event featured a food and wine tasting. Commissioner of Health and Human Services and former Abby's House board member Dr. Matilda Castile was tonight's featured speaker. Abby's House is a shelter for women in distress, whether it be women facing poverty or abuse. Abby's House is one of the first shelters of its kind in the country. They opened their doors back in 1976 and say they've helped more than 13,000 women have a place to stay.
It has taken many, many people throughout the Worcester community and beyond to make a safe place available and make the resources available for the women who need us.
I think that they are an incredible example to our society of how to take care of people, the most vulnerable people in our community.
Secretary Jay Ash was in Central Mass today for the Manufacturing Summit and Excellence Awards at Cyprian Keys Golf Club. The event highlighted what the state is doing to help the manufacturing sector. A panel discussion was also held where participants discussed innovation and growth through partnerships. Secretary Ash was the keynote speaker. He stressed how manufacturing is still essential to the success of Central Mass.
In our trade associations that are supporting the growth and development of businesses around the Commonwealth. So we're very excited about all that, and as a result of that, what the governor has said is that we are going to be first when it comes to innovating in manufacturing in the country and in the world.
The first ever Central Mass Manufacturing Excellence Awards were also handed out to some of the area's top firms at today's event. 2 bars in Dudley will be without a liquor license for a period of time. The Board of Selectmen issued the suspensions at a public hearing Monday night. Our Patricia Nicholas spoke with town officials about what is now being done.
A police investigation leads the town of Dudley to suspend the liquor licenses at 2 establishments. Town selectmen fined them in violation at a public hearing Monday.
When they receive a license, are responsible for making sure that people who patronize their business aren't involved in any type of altercations, drunkenness, or serving of minors or persons who are already intoxicated.
Gaslight Cafe will lose their license for 3 days. Dudley police say a male with a history of alcoholism was overserved back in January. Police say he was involved in a violent domestic dispute with his wife. Chief Steve Wayner says he was intoxicated and had a gun. He faces numerous charges, including threat to commit the crime of murder.
This is where those charges apply, that these individuals had way too much to drink and should have been stopped earlier.
Drafters was given 2 3-day suspensions for 2 incidents, over-serving a patron and serving a minor. The town says both establishments were required to know when to stop serving patrons.
Licensees are required to have someone who's TIPS trained. TIPS trained is an alcohol recognition program. When in doubt, don't serve the individuals if they appear to be intoxicated.
It's the first offense for both bars. The town says the penalties increase for each offense. If a business offends more than 4 times, they will lose their license. Town and police say liquor license terms are not meant to stop people from drinking, but rather to keep them safe.
Both the bar owner and the patrons need to be careful not to become a public safety issue or nuisance.
You always want to be responsible for yourself, because so that you're not impaired to the point where you're going to hurt yourself or someone else in the process.
Investigators in Leicester believe fighting children and poor brakes are potential factors in a serious crash on Sunday. The driver of the vehicle says that he was dealing with kids in the back seat when he went off Route 9, hit a highway sign, and then slammed into the front porch of a home. 5 of the occupants suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Police are still looking into whether alcohol may have played a role. Patriots fans are still angry over a federal appeals court reinstating quarterback Tom Brady's 4-game suspension for his alleged role in Deflategate. Fans here in Central Mass say they may tune out this week's NFL draft. The Patriots lost a first-round draft pick in addition to having their star quarterback benched for the first 4 games of the season. Our Andy Madison has a look at the possible draft boycott.
Thought that the Patriots might be interested in.
Steve Balistreri follows the Patriots all year round.
I love the draft. This is my favorite time of the year.
He is a writer for PatsFans.com. And this week, the website is leading the charge to get Patriots fans to tune out the NFL draft on Thursday night.
And frustration, you know, it's the only way Patriots fans can get back at the NFL for what they feel is improper behavior on their part, is to hit them in their pocketbook.
The league took the Patriots' first-round pick away, meaning the team won't draft until Friday.
Legal in writing is...
In a week where fans are already steamed over the Brady suspension.
There was a hand-drawn sign in the back of his window, and we can't repeat exactly what he was saying about Roger Goodell, but we fully agree.
Some fans are considering boycotting draft coverage altogether.
What will you be doing Thursday night?
I won't be watching the draft, that's for sure. I'm going to the Red Sox game. I'll be watching the Red Sox-Yankees.
The Patriots and Tom Brady were all the chatter at this barbershop in Millbury. Balistreri knows a draft boycott won't hurt ratings or change the team's Deflategate penalties, but it's one way fans can fight back. Fans who seem resigned to accept Brady's 4-game suspension.
Give him the 4 games, let the team play, and move on from it.
I think at this point, going through 2 different court systems, if 4 games is what it is, he's probably going to have to eat it and take the 4 games, you know, willingly or unwillingly.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
April is National Donate Life Month. The Southbridge woman says an organ donation saved her life. Her team at UMass Memorial Medical Center says anyone who can should become an organ donor. Our Brittany Schaefer spoke to the kidney recipient about how the donation saved her life.
It changed my life 110%.
On January 3rd, 2010, Robin Latoy says an organ donor saved her life.
And they told me at that point if I didn't get a transplant, I wouldn't be around.
She had to wait for quite a number of years before a kidney was available to her. But once she got one, it works, as they usually do.
Dr. Pang-Yan Fan is one of Latoy's doctors at UMass Memorial Medical Center. Latoy was actually on the waiting list for a kidney in 2005, but when one was available, she turned it down, something Dr. Fan had never seen before.
She did very well with dialysis, but most people really dislike it so much that they'll take the kidney as soon as it's available. She's the exception to the rule.
I turned the kidney down. I was just not able, I couldn't accept it, and I felt I was too nervous and I'm not sick enough.
Dr. Fan says the transplant surgery is easy. The difficult part is getting an organ. Fan says right now there are 200 patients on the waiting list for a kidney at UMass Memorial's transplant program. According to organdonor.gov, nationwide, 22 people die every day awaiting a transplant.
I enjoy the gift of life every day, living life to the fullest, trying to be positive with everybody I work with.
More than 5 years after her surgery, Latoy says she goes to 20 different organ donation events a year and has participated in the Transplant Olympics for the past 6 years.
A person like Robin says it best. You can see how her life has been changed by getting this kidney. But there are many people who would do just as well as she has who don't have that opportunity because they're waiting for the organ to become available.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester.